smart weather once again here at Sloan Park in Mesa, Arizona, as we bring you Chicago Cubs Cactus League action just 2 weeks away from opening day as they host the Padres, in spring training baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is presented by Apt Electronics, appliances and more. Great to have you with us. Jim DeShays and Len Casper with you. Good pitching matchup today. James Shields, the ace of the Padres, and Jason Hamill, who should fit in quite nicely right in the middle of the Cubs rotation.
Yeah, very important piece for the Cubs this year, and Jason Hamill pitched very well for the Cubs last year before being traded over to the Oakland A's. So he comes back to the Cubs, signs a 2-year deal plus an option. He'll be making his 4th appearance here in spring training. Last year with the Cubs, really good at Wrigley Field. He made 7 starts at Wrigley, was 4-1 there with a 235 earned run average.
Yeah, he's a guy who had probably the best first half of his career last year with the Cubs. Struggled a little bit with the Oakland A's, but JD, his experience here was so great, he really wanted to come back.
Yeah, he made it known early on that he wanted to come back to Chicago, and here's the evidence to support it. With the Cubs, a 2.98 ERA. Struggled, as Len mentioned, with the A's, especially early. His first few starts there did not go well. He bounced back and pitched pretty well in September. A very important piece now. He'll be the 3rd man out of the chute in that Cubs rotation.
And he's going to bat 8th in the lineup. We'll give you Joe Madden's reasoning as we move along today. The Cubs are playing their best baseball of the spring. They have rattled off 8 of their last 10. So it's Shields for the Padres and Hamill for the Cubs. Cubs baseball on a gorgeous day in Arizona. Next.
Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you by Apt Electronics, appliances and more. Pleasing people since 1936.
We sound like a broken record, but I guess that's good about the weather. It is another gorgeous day. Sun shining, temps in the 80s. And another packed house here at Sloan Park. Essentially, the Cubs are sold out the rest of the way. We've had crowds of over 15,000 now for pretty much all of the spring, except for the opener, and that was 11,000 plus. And the Cubs, the best draw here in Arizona, and really throughout spring training, whether it's in Florida or here in the Valley. And they got here early today as the Cubs host the San Diego Padres, and partner 2 weeks from tonight. We'll get it going for good at Wrigley Field.
Yep, you can feel it coming. You see a little light at the end of the tunnel. A lot of energy with this ball club right now as they kind of, position players get extra at-bats. The starting pitchers starting to stretch out their workload. Real baseball just around the corner.
And let's get Bud Black's Padres starting lineup. Will Myers, a guy Joe Madden is very familiar with, the former Ray and the former American League Rookie of the Year. Yangervis Solarte is at third. He's a switch hitter. Will Venable, pretty smart. He went to Princeton, played 2 sports. He's playing right today. Jed Jerko is going to clean up at second. Yonder Alonso at first. Their new catcher, Derek Norris, off to a slow start this spring. Alexi Amarista is at short. Abraham Almonte is in left. And probably the crown jewel of their offseason, James Shields, will get the start in bat ninth.
Let's take a look at the Cubs defensively. The new center fielder this year is Dexter Fowler. This afternoon, he's flanked by Chris Coughlin in left, Jorge Soler in right. Field features Mike Gold, Javier Baez, Arismendi Alcantara, and Anthony Rizzo. Miguel Montero, the veteran, he's a newbie as well. He's behind the plate for our starting pitcher this afternoon, right-hander Jason Hamill. Hamill, 32 years of age. You look at his spring training numbers. This is his 4th outing. He's worked 9 innings and pitched to an ERA of 6 last year. With the Cubs and the A's combined to go 10 and 11 with a 347.
Well, one of the stories this week at camp, John Lester was skipped yesterday due to a dead arm. We'll talk with his manager and get an update. Joe Madden in the bottom of the 3rd. The Cubs are not concerned. He is expected, I believe, to throw a bullpen session tomorrow and to make his next start on time, and hopes to be ready and should be ready for opening night. And I saw Adam Wainwright finally got into Grapefruit League action. And
they're still targeting him as opening day guy?
I think so. It's got to be Wainwright and Lester for opening night, right?
Well, yeah, but with the one thing you want to make sure, though, is that guys don't push to get there. It's fun to be the guy to make that opening night start, but obviously it's a long season, and especially in Wainwright's case, because he's, I think his injury is a little more significant. He's been out a little bit longer. And I guess maybe you just ask him on opening night to give you 5 innings and go to the pen.
So it's Will Myers, first year with the Padres, and he swings away and pops into right. Jorge Soler not having any issues with the sun. Right now it's going to be left and center, and then in about the 6th or 7th inning, any ball hit to the right side of the diamond in the air is going to be trouble. And we've seen some guys already this spring just have no idea where the ball is. It's a tough sky here in AZ. Solarte, switch hitter, playing 3rd. The Cubs went winless in their first 7 games here in the Cactus League, and there was panic all around Cub Nation. But
that's why I came down. I came into town, and I kind of turned things around, Len.
If the Cubs win today, they'll be at 500. They're 9, 10, and 1. Two strikes.
Good slider. Hamill, fastball 92 in that range, throws a 4-seamer and a 2-seamer, throws a lot of sliders and the occasional curveball and once in a while a changeup, but primarily fastball, slider. And against left-handed hitters, he likes to bury that slider down and in. He was really good against both left and right-handed hitters last year. That slider, a very important pitch for him.
Strike 3 called. Good frame job by Montero, and well, he was throwing that ball down to 3rd before Doug Eddings could even call strike 3. It's almost like you don't have a choice, Doug. You got to call it.
Yep. Well, he just paints the outside corner with a fastball a little bit above the knees, right where Montero was set up. Good execution after the inside slider. Good heater away.
Now Will Venable. Ball 1 outside. The Padres made a ton of offseason moves under their new general manager, A.J. Preller. December 18th and 19th, that ball will land foul. 24-hour period. They made 30 transactions. That's trades, signings, minor league moves, DFAs. And according to the Padres game notes, since the data has become available, it's the most ever moves by a major league team in a 24-hour window. Lined deep to left, and that ball gets over Coghlan. Boy, a screamer off the bat of Will Venable.
Yeah, so a lot of turnover in the clubhouse parlance. That's called backing up the truck. I mean, a lot of new faces. A lot of veteran guys moved along, and now some of these guys like Venable and Maben and some of these other guys are, scrambling to find their spot on this ball club. Good swing here as he carves this fastball with authority to left field. Venable a couple of years ago kind of had a bit of a breakout year, but fell off last season.
And now it's Jed Jerko, the second baseman. So the Padres tried to bolster their offense with the additions of Myers and Matt Kemp, Derek Norris,
Justin Upton.
And then they brought in James Shields as a free agent to front their rotation.
Well, they were 36 and 31 to finish the season, so they turned it around in the second half. They were dead last in the major leagues in just about every offensive category, so clearly they needed to upgrade.
Swing and a miss. Another good slider by Jason Hamill. Yeah, the Mariners and Padres, JD, they both play in big, pitcher-friendly parks and both really focused on trying to add offense this past winter.
Well, it's been a chronic condition in San Diego the last few years.
Swing and a miss, strike three. Good first for Hamill. He gives up the two-out double, but fanned a couple. Cubs coming up when we return. Only the Dodgers have hit more homers than the Cubs, 28 on the spring. That includes 7 over the last 2 days. Let's check in on Joe Maddon's starting lineup. A little bit of a wrinkle in there. Dexter Fowler leading off on his 29th birthday. Happy birthday to Dexter. Chris Coghlan, Jorge Soler, who's had a really good spring. Anthony Rizzo, Miguel Montero, Javier Baez. You see those guys have struggled a little bit so far. Mike Olt at third. The pitcher batting 8th today, that's Hamill, and as Arizmendi Alcantara hitting 9th.
Friars afield, Almonte, Myers, Venable, left center, right infield of Solardi, Marista, Jerko, Alonso, Derek Norris behind the plate, and here comes pitch number 1 from James Shields.
Four-seamer up in the zone, and Fowler fouls away.
Shields, the veteran, been very good, very durable throughout his career. There are his spring numbers. Solid stuff from the vet. Cutter there, that's a big weapon for him. Fastball, cutter, curveball, and change.
Got a 4-year, $75 million free agent contract. Pretty late in the offseason. Just off the outside corner. The largest free agent deal in Padres history. And he said afterwards the decision came down to two teams. The Padres and the Cubs. And Fowler could not hold up on a changeup as he strikes out.
That change, a great weapon, especially against the left-handed hitters. Will throw that cutter in to try to speed you up. And if you're trying to be quick and he comes with that changeup, it can be awfully tough. Really sells it well. It didn't look like much of a swing, though, did it?
Shields 33 years old, 6'3", 215.
I mentioned his durability. 8 consecutive seasons of 30 or more starts. And he's got 200 or better innings in each of those 8 seasons as well.
Yeah, dating back to 2007.
So they've added this offense to go along with what appears to be a really good starting rotation.
Well, they've got to keep Andrew Cashner, the former Cub, healthy. That's always a concern, health.
Tyson Ross was really good last year.
They've got to keep Matt Kemp healthy. Yeah, they've got Ian Kennedy. I mean, when Ian Kennedy is your number 4, that's pretty good. 1-2 on Chris Coghlan. Soler on deck.
Coghlan should compete well against Shields. He's a guy who doesn't fool easily. Will stay back on that changeup. Generally.
And he got him on a comeback sinker.
Looks like a 2-seam fastball, just a little run. Coghlan perhaps thought it was inside.
Jorge Soler, 355 on the spring, a double, a homer, or 2 homers rather, double, triple, 2 home runs.
Good boy.
And curve misses low. Cubs put up 10 against the White Sox on Friday without the DH. They put up 12 yesterday. Chris Bryant hit 2 more homers, knocked in 5. Wellington Castillo went the opposite way. Addison Russell homered. Russell and Bryant both homered off Felix Hernandez.
Is it more newsworthy when Chris Bryant goes deep or when he doesn't go deep in the game down here?
Both. Soler grounds out. Shields with a quick 1-2-3 in the first. After an inning, we're scoreless.
Welcome back. We've played an inning. We are scoreless here at Sloan Park. Opening night 2 weeks away. Opening night is sold out at the ballpark, but tickets available for the rest of that Cardinals series. So, Cub fans, let's go. Cubs.com to get your tickets.
Sunday night, April 5th. Tuesday night, April 7th. And then Wednesday afternoon, April 8th. Before the Cubs will head to Colorado for the first weekend series of the season. Yonder Alonso will start it. He's had all kinds of recurring issues with his right wrist and forearm the last couple of years. His emergence with the Padres is what allowed them to trade Anthony Rizzo for Andrew Kashner as he lines out hard to left. We'll bring up Derek Norris. The backup catcher Tim Fedorovich tore his right meniscus and recently had surgery, so he's going to be out 3 to 6 months. I'm just looking at the timeline. Alonso was acquired from Cincinnati in that Matt Latos deal, December 17th of 2011, and then January 6th. They made the Rizzo Kashner deal. So once they got Alonso, they decided we'll turn Rizzo into a starting pitcher. Not literally. Fowler makes the catch. 2 outs.
Yeah, they have not gotten the power production out of Alonso that they had hoped. He's 27 years of age now. He's more of a gap doubles type hitter, and I think they were hoping that that power would develop, and it may still. Battled injuries last year. But I think that's part of the reason why they were so aggressive this winter, going out and adding some thump, because they just didn't feel like they had it in house.
Amarista, the shortstop, strike one. Hamill working with a good pace. 92 on the fastball, but up and out of the zone. And around this time, as we get into this next week here, a lot of the starting pitchers kind of get stretched out to their max, and then they back off a little bit in their final start of the spring in that last week in the run-up to opening day.
Yeah, I would think today shoot for maybe 75 pitches or so from Jason, then next time out push it 90 plus and then back off at final outing or spring training.
Put it right where Montero wanted it, and all Amarista could do was fight it off foul. And 2-2.
Twos are wild. 22 pitches, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the second. Throw him a curveball. Throw him a deuce.
He did. And he got him. Big looping breaking ball at 81 for the strikeout.
Welcome back. It is scoreless. We head to the bottom half of the second, looking for a way to make your business stand out from the competition. How about hosting your best customers and guests in a private suite at Wrigley Field? The Nuveen Investment Suites can accommodate anywhere from 15 to 55. Include food, all you can drink beverages, and parking. To book your premier experience at the ballpark, visit Cubs.com/suites.
Former Padre Anthony Rizzo will lead it off. The Padres will overshift to the right on the infield against the left-handed hitter. 25 years old, and funny, isn't it, how we now forget about some of the struggles he had 2 years ago when he hit .233. Coming off a fantastic year last year. He hit 32 homers. And OPS had put him in the top 3 in the National League. His first go-around in the big leagues was nothing short of a disaster. 49 games in 2011 with the Padres. A fair amount of plate appearances, 153. JD hit 141. So that does give you a little context to Javier Baez and his struggles last year.
Yeah, and that's more typical than a young player coming to the big leagues and just figuring it out right away. There's so much going on when a young player first gets here, having to learn the pitchers, just settling into a major league clubhouse, the dynamics of being around, big name players, and then you can be a little bit of a deer in the headlight situation. Takes a while to get comfortable. Some guys come up and settle right in and take right off, but most do not.
I feel like the strike zone's been pretty small this week among a lot of the home plate umpires. Today is not the case with Doug Eddings. Cue shot off the end of the bat. And what a play by Solarte. Wow. Yangervis Solarte with a terrific barehanded play. And, of course, that ball had a lot of English on it coming off the end of the bat.
And so you got a big left-handed slugger up there taking a big swing. He hits it right off the end of the bat. So you got to get a good jump. You got to handle some funky side spin. And you have to make a good, strong, accurate throw. So already checked all the boxes and got Rizzo.
Talked to Mike Olt about plays like that, and I remember asking Mike Lowell once, who was great at barehanding balls just like that. Most third basemen don't practice that. Those acrobatic plays, I think, are really tough to work on in drills. You kind of need that adrenaline going.
Yeah, you might, when you take fungos before the game, nobody's hitting you slow rollers that you're charging. I mean, I guess you could go out and have a coach before BP starts, roll you the ball on the ground. You could come in and barehand and flip it over to first base.
The 0-1 on Miguel Montero. It's high. Up yet again. This will be Miguel's 10th year in the big leagues, although first year only 6 games. He made his debut with Arizona. And fouled out of play. So he's locked in through 2017, the next 3 years. Full count, 3-2. Baez on deck.
Montero gives you good patient at bat. Take a walk.
Acquired for 2 minor league pitchers on December 9th. Zach Godley and Jefferson Mejia. Solarte gives chase. 2 down. I don't know why this is the case, but when I think of Yangervis Solarte, you know what I think about?
No.
I think of about 38 degrees doing a long doubleheader at Yankee Stadium last April.
Because that's when we were first introduced to him.
Yes. It was a one-day series. Yep. And it was cold at Yankee Stadium. Woo. There's Baez playing short today. Starlin Castro was a late scratch yesterday with a tight right groin, but he hopes to be back in action on Tuesday after an off day tomorrow. That means the Cubs are off tomorrow. The whole team, although I think there's a B game and Jake Arrieta will be pitching, but most of the guys will be able to do whatever they want.
Suspect there'll be a fair number of guys out on the golf course tomorrow.
Yeah. There's probably a nap in my future. Napping's always good on an off day.
Boy.
That's low. See if Baez can hang in there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A piece of it.
Yeah, Shields gave him a pretty good pitch to hit right there. Fastball mid-thigh, maybe a little bit down, but right over the heart of the plate. His biggest issues, and Joe Madden addressed this a little bit earlier today, is not so much the big swing, but it's just chasing pitches out of the strike zone, whether it be breaking balls off the plate and down or high fastballs.
And he's worked it full 3-2. Mike Olt would bat if Baez can reach.
Anyway, come on. Oh boy.
Shields got away with a little bit of a hanger there.
Here comes the 8th pitch of the sequence, and it's inside, ball 4. See the slash line, very solid from Olt here in the spring. Baez at first, 2 outs, and ball 1.
Well, you're good. Come on. Well, you're
We'll
good.
send Norris out to the mound.
Yeah, working a little harder in this inning than he would like. A little out of sync with his delivery.
Down. Attaboy. Well, you're good. You're good. Come on.
He's been missing up quite a bit. You know, I mentioned earlier, 4 years, $75 million, that the largest free agent contract in team history, which is almost surprising. That's a lot of money, but comparatively speaking to some of the other deals that have been signed over the years here with other teams,
any big splashes they've made in free agency, and
well, this is the biggest.
Nobody comes to mind.
Inside, so Shields all out of sorts here. Has walked back-to-back hitters, and that will bring up the pitcher, Jason Hamill. So give us Joe Maddon's reasoning here on batting the pitcher eighth.
Well, I think Joe just, everybody knows he's a bit of an outside-the-box thinker, so he's kind of toying around with some ideas. He said, they're running he referred to it, the brainiacs are doing a lot of like computer modeling. They're using different lineups and trying to see how many runs they would generate. I think that's part of it. I think he feels like he's got a pretty deep lineup, and if he's got a competent hitter in the 9-hole, that's going to provide RBI opportunities.
And he knew Hamill would hit a rocket. But Solarte had a Gold Glove inning. He was a part of all 3 outs. So 2 walks, no runs after 2 scoreless. And let's send it back to our Chicago studios for more with Chris Bowden.
Len, Jim, great to hear your voices back on our airwaves. And hey, Cubs fans, if you haven't noticed, today's starting pitcher and 8th place hitter Jason Hamill is back with the Cubs. Traded with Jeff Samardzija to Oakland last July. He returned in December on a 2-year deal with a club option. With a lot of young faces on this club, the right-hander's found himself in a mentoring role. We caught up with him recently for him to mentor us on his repertoire.
4-seam fastball. You used to throw just that. Basically, you have your horseshoe right here, and I'm across it like this. Some guys go this way. It's really the same pitch, nothing fancy. I also throw a 2-seamer, which changed my career. It was a big addition because I was always bad against lefties. Everything I threw was straight or coming into a lefty. Once I added a 2-seamer, runs away, arm side, and you get a lot more weak ground balls, bad swings, and it also helps throwing in on righties. So that it's almost like a Little League grip, the Little League 2-seamer right there. But I actually come to here and just make sure you stay on top of it so you're finishing like that. Circle change is my changeup, just like that. So you have your little circle. We always talk about making the OK sign or pulling the lampshade down. And stay on top here, and you come down, pull inside, and you get that run off your tips like that. My bread and butter slider. I'm a fastball, sinker, slider guy, and when all else fails, if you don't know what I'm throwing, it's probably going to be a slider. Right here, going up the horseshoe again. I use everything off my middle finger. That's my feel finger. A lot of guys, it varies between the pointer finger and the middle finger. That's where I feel the strongest to be able to get the most RPMs on the ball and make it spin, and that creates the break. And then obviously the curveball, which is more or less just a kind of steal a strike pitch for me. It used to be my best pitch, but I was using it in all the wrong ways and really trying to throw just the unhittable curveball all the time and getting behind in counts. And now I use it for guys to just get ahead, like steal a strike in a 0-0 count, or guys are sitting on something else and I know it and I'll just drop one in. Because it used to be I start 0-0 and I go 1-0 and then I got to throw a heater and get yourself in trouble. So that's just the things I've learned over the years of my career. So that's a curveball.
We'll talk with Joe Maddon in the bottom of this 3rd inning as Hamill faces Abraham Almonte. And a big day for Joe and his players as they had their heads shaved this morning on field 1 to benefit pediatric cancer research and support. And a select number of fans participated, donated $100 to get their heads shaved alongside Cubs players. Got a t-shirt as well, and they have raised $8,500 so far. Respect Bald, that's the name of the event, and you can go to CubsCharities.com to donate, so you can participate as well, even if you're not here at Sloan Park. You've been respecting Bald for a while.
I was going to say, yeah, it was a great event, and really could be words to live by, really.
2-2 on Almonte. Got him. Strike 3. 4 strikeouts so far.
There you go. There's Joe. He was the leadoff batter for the head shaving event.
Good turnout today. See, Rizzo dyed his hair this week because he knew he was going to get it all shaved off today. Strike called on the pitcher Shields. I just got an update. Breaking news. They're now over $10,000 in donations. Do I hear 11? Oh, 2. Couldn't get him to bite.
Great tempo from Jason Hamill here this afternoon.
That's a mistake, giving up a 2-strike hit to the pitcher.
Yeah, maybe got a little bit lazy with that breaking ball. Shields able to get it off the end of the bat and flip it into center field. Sometimes you get a pitcher up there or somebody you feel is an inferior hitter. You feel like any breaking ball, just put a little spin on it. It's going to get the job done, and you don't finish the pitch.
Back to the top, and Myers. He regressed last year after that bust-out rookie season the year before with Tampa Bay. Had wrist problems, just 87 games, long DL stint. 88 games the year before to win the American League Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, he wasn't good before the injury. He wasn't particularly good after the injury last year. Padres obviously hope a change of scenery will turn things around for him. And they're going to ask him to play center field, something he has not done a lot of at the big league level.
Yeah, that's the other concern about this Padres team is defense. Swing and a miss.
Bounce it and block it right here. Bounce it and block it. And a piece off, you block.
Hamill 6'6", 225. And he rolled foul.
Reading the story, they're talking about Myers, whether he would be able to handle center field or not, and he clearly feels like he can. In the Petco Park outfield, it's a decent size one, but the story pointed out it's kind of middle of the pack in Major League Baseball in terms of square footage. We think of it because it's such a pitcher's ballpark. The dead air there really knocks a lot of balls down. They moved the fences in twice, so there was a time when it was among the bigger stadiums in all of baseball, bigger playing surfaces in the outfield. But it's just kind of middle of the road now. But there are a lot of baseball people that think that outfield is really going to have a bit of a problem covering the ground out there with Kemp, Upton, and Myers.
Well, not a big surprise coming through the Tampa Bay system that he's versatile. He's caught. He's played all the outfield spots, third base, first base.
Good try right there. 2 strikes. I mean, it's been like slider down the way, slider in the way.
Well, actually, he caught in the Royals system back in 2009. He's an 18 and 19-year-old. I think that's why Joe Madden is such a good fit here with the Cubs. because they like versatility, and it's something he is a big proponent of.
He talked about it when he first got hired, that it's really important to be on the same page as your bosses, and how he and Theo and Jed share a lot of the same philosophies about the game.
Got him on a breaking ball. So he can't put away Shields, but he gets Myers, and that's his 5th strikeout.
All sliders are curveballs.
It's been a nice mix, too. This time it's a breaking ball that locks up Myers. He was looking for a heater, apparently. 3rd strikeout looking for Hamill here this afternoon.
Right.
Solarte has already had an impact today with the glove. And a line shot caught by Soler, and that will end the inning. We'll chat with the Cubs manager, Joe Maddon, when we come back. Scoreless in the 3rd. Nothing. Cubs a bat here in the 3rd inning. Respect Bald, and Joe Maddon and many of his players doing that today, along with fans, to benefit pediatric cancer research and support. I know it's something very near and dear to your heart.
Yeah, it is, and to see the great turnout by our players and the fans today. Tremendous response by the fans out on the berm by field number 1. It's not obviously an outstanding cause or situation. You wish you didn't have to do things like that, but when the kids are involved, man, we got to show up.
Had a young man who was diagnosed, I think, a year ago. Came out and threw out the first pitch. It gave you goosebumps, the ovation he got.
It was outstanding. I met him, this is Sean. I met him beforehand, and what a wonderful young man. And then again, it's not just about him. Of course it is, but you got to understand and consider the families too. And that's what really struck me when I began to do this was, parents and grandparents and how it impacts everybody and how everybody's life is altered by it. And it's just a horrible moment. And again, anything we can do to help the kids, we must do as a society.
CubsCharities.com if you would like to donate as Alcantara fouls back. So Hamill 8th today, and I know it's something you've been chewing on here for a while.
Yeah, and it's happening right now. I mean, he had a bullet to end the last inning, but here you got this guy leading off, leading into the top of the batting order. It's almost like having 2 leadoff hitters back to back. I kind of like that situation, and of course it didn't work right there. But there's times when you get a good hitter, like if you put a really good hitter, say for instance in the 8 hole with the pitcher behind him, and I think we're going to have like pretty good hitters 1 through 8 this year. That 8 guy becomes moot sometimes, and of course all of a sudden you can say, well, maybe that's going to happen to the 7 hole hitter too. But if you get somebody like exceptionally, the guy that has the ability to get on base and hit in front of a Dexter leading into 2, 3, 4, I find that very interesting. So again, playing with it, I've had our boys, the Brainiacs, work on it, give me some, breakdown regarding how it plays out computer-wise, and there's some advantages, there's some kind of, it's like a push or a moot point, but I'm trying to figure it all out.
And will it dictate or have any influence on what you do with the top of the batting order?
Yeah, it could. I'm plus pretty good because everything's carrying here. We're playing in zero gravity, boys. Wow.
Caught out there for the out.
Yeah, it can. I mean, I think if you have somebody in the 9 hole you like getting on base, you could influence the 2 hole a little bit more, knowing that there might be 1 or 2 guys on for more consistently. That speaks to Rizzo, Soler, Bryant, whatever you want to do up in that 2 hole. Although this guy's done a really nice job up there too. I just think, again, I'm trying to get a feel for all of our players, and you look at them, we are a good offensive club. And how's this all going to play out? Where do you put the guys to maximize everything? And I'm keeping an open mind. I have not decided, I swear to you, anything to this point. Just looking at all the different options, trying to get the most out of our group.
Does your pitcher's hitting ability factor into it at all, or is it simply what you want to do with that 8 hole / 9 hole guy?
I think it's more his pitching ability, meaning that if it's a guy that you think is going to go more deeply into the game, you always want to delay the decision, so you move him back into the 9 hole. A guy that maybe is not the kind of guy that goes normally deeply into the game, you want to expedite that decision to get him in the 8 hole. That could be a factor also. Again, it's just a whole bunch of different things. Of course, if you have a good hitter, like if Woody's playing, Woody in the 8 hole is beautiful. I mean, this guy can swing the bat. So it has something to do with it, but I think more than anything, to this point, my perspective has been more on the pitcher's ability than his hitting ability.
2 strikes on Coughlin. Hopefully he can keep this inning alive for several reasons. We enjoy chatting with you, Joe, and be nice to score a few runs here, wouldn't it?
Shieldsy can be really tough on lefties. I almost like right-handed hitters on him better. Right now he's got everything going on versus the lefty. The changeup, the cutter in, curveball. I used to really get on him about throwing that more to lefties, and he just did it right there. Maybe did that for me.
Yeah, I was very rude because I made for a short interview. But again, congrats on the great event today. And real quick, Lester's okay. He's going to throw tomorrow, right?
Yep. Okay. Everything's looking good right there. Our training staff is outstanding. And, it's typical spring training bumps and bruises.
Joe, thanks for the time.
My pleasure, guys. Talk to you later.
That's Joe Madden, scoreless at Sloan Park.
Pitcher's Day so far, scoreless as we head to the 4th. The Cubs will host the 10th annual Race to Wrigley charity run presented by ATI Physical Therapy Saturday, April 25th, outside of Wrigley Field. In recognition of the Race to Wrigley's 10th anniversary, the Cubs will introduce an additional race, the Let's Run 210K. RaceToWrigley.com to register and get more information.
Venable with a line shot double the other way in the first inning. Always learn something from Joe Madden. He's incredibly thoughtful. I love hearing a manager say, I'm just keeping an open mind. Especially guys been around as long as Joe has.
Yeah, and addressing the media earlier today, he was referencing freakonomics, getting beneath the surface. Talking a little bit about his, in that particular instance, he was talking about his infield, with the versatility of guys like La Stella and Alcantara and Baez, who can play all over the infield. And sometimes you got to go a little bit below the surface. Maybe we want to focus on guys' offensive numbers, but who's a good base runner, who plays good defense. He was raving about Javier Baez's tag ability.
Oh yeah.
He said he put down a real nice tag yesterday. He said, I think he said, I'm a bit of a tag freak.
2-2 on the way to Venable outside.
Had a good changeup last inning. Let's see if he breaks it out here on 3-2. Cut her in. Interesting, you got a veteran catcher in Montero, a veteran pitcher on the hill in Hamill. Both have a pretty good idea of what they want to try to do, and took Montero 2 or 3 times to get to what Hamill wanted to throw there.
Strike 3 called. 6 now. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 6 strikeouts have been looking. As the late great Ernie Harwell would say, excessive window shopping will send Venable back to the dugout.
Stood there like a house on the side of the road. Well, and the reason why he's getting so many called strikeouts, one, Eddings got a pretty generous zone, but 2, all of his pitches have been effective, so the hitters are kind of caught in between. He's thrown good breaking pitches. I mentioned the changeup to the left-handed hitters. Fastball command has been good, so they got a lot to contemplate in the batter's box right now against Hamill. The more you can make a hitter think, the more likely you are to fool him. Lock him up.
Doubled up on the high heat. I'll change that eye level a bit. 2-2 to Jerko.
Jerko struck out swinging. He offered out a slider and came up empty last time.
Got him. Boy, Montero just stayed right there at the top of the strike zone. It's only 2 outs.
He was so pumped about getting that strikeout.
That happened the other day against the Cubs. I'm trying to think of who they were playing, but they actually only had recorded 2 outs in the inning, and everybody left the field. They had to redo the math.
We're working on that.
Alonso.
Hey, that'd be an interesting rule change if you want to speed up the game.
What's that?
Anytime there are back-to-back strikeouts at the beginning of an inning, it counts as 3 outs. That'd change the hitter's approach, wouldn't it?
A little bit. You got to put the ball in play or the inning's over with 1 out. Yeah.
No, only if the first guy was a strikeout victim, too.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Second guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, boy.
Hamill's got everything working today.
Good to hear Joe's report on John Lester. Standard issue dead arm spring training situation.
Swing and a miss. Wow. He strikes out the side. He's got 8 in 4 innings.
Cy Spring.
Hamill's been terrific.
Bob Gibson here this afternoon, striking everybody out. But fastball command, good breaking ball, swinging miss there from Jerko. He's got a good changeup, backdoor curveball, Damarista. Montero working nicely together here this afternoon, carving up these Padre hitters.
Jorge Soler dribbles one up along first, and James Shields is fortunate. This is spring training, and he didn't get run over by that Mack truck.
Yeah, it's not a charge you really want to take. Kind of let him go to the hoop.
Rizzo retired on a really nice play by Solarte in the second inning. In the outside corner. I think we mentioned it the other night. You're talking about the strike zone as you see young Cub power hitters. The late Ernie Banks at 44 back in 1955 as a shortstop. The vertical part of the strike zone is one thing, but it's that that one's set high in the air to right. Should be easy play for Venable. It's the corners and off the corners when batters seem to get a little aggravated, and I think Doug Eddings has been very liberal with that part of the zone today.
Yeah, you know, that pitch off the outside edge, he's been pretty aggressive calling. And Rizzo had something to say as he makes his way back to the dugout. And most hitters will tell you that, you know, they don't mind a little up, a little down. but when it's off the plate and they can't reach it, it's a little frustrating.
Montero fouled out his first time up. We'll get a lion's share of the time back of the plate. One question to be answered: how many catchers will be on the opening day roster? 2 or 3, with the fantastic spring Wellington Castillo's had. They've got a lot of depth at that position. Inside. Did a post-game event with Kyle Schwarber and Chris Bryant yesterday, and man, were they impressive. Thoughtful, funny, insightful. They're not supposed to be that good when they're that young. Good take by Montero.
Yeah, Cubs are in an interesting place with Wellington Castillo, because he's having a heck of a spring, and we've seen him be very good at times. He's got a cannon behind the plate. Always been good against left-handed pitching. There just doesn't seem to be a lot of at-bats for him right now with the Montero-Ross tandem ahead of him. If you trade him and all of a sudden Montero gets hurt, you're kicking yourself for letting Welly get away.
Right. Well, it is not ideal, obviously, defensively, because these guys are catchers, and yeah, they maybe can play first, but Rizzo's going to be there every day. Towering fly to right. Venables on the track, and he will have just enough room. I guess if you have Ross in the lineup, you want to pinch hit for him early. Having that third catcher might help, but we'll find out in the next 2 weeks how it's going to play out. 0-0 as we go to the 5th.
Down in Arizona.
The beauty of working so long in the minor leagues is that you get to try a whole bunch of different things where nobody can see you. Whether it's on the backfield over there in Mesa, whether it's on a bus ride back in Idaho Falls, from Medicine Hat back to Idaho Falls, whether it's something you do in Midland very badly, something you did really wrong that made an impression on you that you what I did was I was upset with the team. So when I bought a bunch of newspapers from different parts of the country and got the classified ads out, posted them everywhere in the locker room, including on the back of the toilet stalls, and said, listen, if you really don't want to play, these are your options. And that did not go over really well. So I would never do that again. So you learn both the right things to do and then the wrong things to do. But the fact that I've had so many years to make mistakes without worrying about making mistakes, I think that's what permits you to take chances, not feel good about it.
Tomorrow night, your Hawks head into the eye of the storm as they set their sights on the Hurricanes. Had to do it as announcer, man, right? Blackhawks pregame live begins at 5:30 on CSN Chicago. Jason Hamill back to work. Good pitching matchup today. Couple of veterans, couple of former Tampa Bay Rays. Jason Hamill, James Shields. Say cheese. Take your finger from in front of the. There you go.
Oh, this darn thing.
Continue to talk about it.
Derek Norris. Strike one.
I'll never say no to you.
Swung right through the fastball.
Good finish on that riding fastball. A little late life from Hamill. Getting swings and misses up there.
And a swing and a miss, strike three. 4 straight strikeouts for Jason Hamill. So the Padres are an interesting organization, JD. They have had a ton of continuity in the manager's chair. That's Buddy Black. This is his 9th year. He replaced Bruce Bochy, who managed the Padres the previous 12 years. So since 1994, when Who was their manager, they've had 2 skippers in the last 21 years.
I'll go with
3 managers ago. Jim Riggleman.
Because it's San Diego. It's laid back. It's low key.
Well, they've had turnover in the GM chair, though. Josh Burns fired mid-season last year. A.J. Preller has taken over. Well, the answer is Bruce Bochy's a Hall of Famer, and Bud Black is very good.
Very well regarded. Although there's some heat on Bud Black this year right now because of all the moves they made. If they don't have a good season, he could end up out of a job. They've endured 4 consecutive losing seasons without changing a manager. That's pretty rare in this game, especially in this day and age.
Bud and Joe Madden, former members of Mike Scioscia's Angels staff. They're still very good friends. That one just missed. 2-2.
Montero calling for this fastball over the inside corner. Hamill tries to run it back, just doesn't quite get there.
But this tapper right back to the mound, and Hamill will take care of it.
And Marista will get high fives for putting the ball in play.
Yeah, 16 batters for the Padres, and over half have struck out. Which isn't really that extraordinary these days with all the strikeouts we've seen around baseball. Almonte tries to bunt. So, all right, you ready for this? Talking about pitching staffs, okay? Not hitters, but pitchers. The Indians last year struck out a record 1,450 batters. Okay? So if you look at the all-time records, the ball thumped, and it's going to one-hop the barrier. Almonte coming around second and will easily make third. That's a 2-out triple. Not too many routine ones, but that is.
Yeah, he was trying to bunt initially. He was going to try to bunt his way aboard. And a rare mistake from Hamill. You see again trying to hit that inside corner, and that one leaks out over the middle of the plate. Now Monte gives a pretty good ride straightaway center field.
Here's Shields, who's 1 for 1. Okay, so team single season strikeout numbers. 9 of the top 10 season totals ever have happened in the last 2 years. So if you look at the top 10 pitching staff strikeout records, they've all happened in the last 2 seasons. Pretty remarkable. Shields will be retired by Alcantara. How about this? He is the only batter in the Padres lineup today, 2 times through, who has not struck out against Jason Hamill. Nicely done, Alcantara, to keep us scoreless.
bat in the bottom of the fifth. As a matter of fact, the Cubs don't have a hit yet off James Shield. They'll miss the first ever opening night at Wrigley Field. The Cubs battle the Cardinals Sunday, April 5th. That's 2 weeks from tonight. First pitch at 7:05. First 30,000 fans will receive the official 2015 Cubs Magnet schedule presented by Giordano's. For more information, visit Cubs.com.
Cub fans young and old. And some sunburned. Cubs still looking for their first hit. They have a couple of base runners today, both on walks.
Your name's Rocco? Rocco, no less. Rocco.
Baez worked a 2-out walk in the second inning. He actually had a couple of pitches to hit in that at-bat. Fouled them off.
Hey, boy.
One of back-to-back walks. And Shields was fighting himself a little bit. Other than that, he's been really crisp here this afternoon.
So the greatest baseball website ever, maybe the greatest website of all time, regardless of sport or topic, baseballreference.com. They have spring training stats. And the one thing that's kind of fun is they put OPPQUAL on there. That's opponent quality. So you can look at spring stats and find out, you know, what the quality of the opposing pitcher is for a batter.
So, you know, so you get some head-to-head kind of information.
Yeah, so each plate appearance, you get a 10 if you face a major league pitcher, 8 AAA, 7 AA, 5 high A, 4 full season A.
Wow.
Rookie and short season 1.5 to 3. And then if you're doing a pitcher, the opposing batter is a pitcher, it's a 1.
What if it was a major league pitcher and after the game he's quoted as saying, I just didn't have my good stuff today?
I think he would be considered a major league pitcher. Yeah.
I was just working on my curveball or something.
Result. Cutter is away.
Yeah, I'm with Joe. He talked earlier about Shields, and you may be better off sending right-handed hitters. Just as you watch him pitch, that cutter in, change up away to the lefties. He looks to me like a guy really tough on left-handed hitters, and maybe tries to force it a little bit against right-handed hitters. Takes his change up away a little bit.
That's a strike. So, for instance, Arizmendi Alcantara has started a lot. His opponent quality is 9. So the highest could be 10. Whereas a guy like Chris Valaika, he's played a lot late. Hasn't started a ton of games. His is 7.5. Wes Darville has come over from minor league camp. His is 5.9. So, you know, if a guy's hitting 600 or something and 25 at bats, but they're all coming in the 8th and 9th inning, you might want to
2-2 right. I had my head turned.
Hold your horses, so to speak.
Travis Wood is on deck.
How are you good? Too low.
Bolt strikes out. Yeah, how about that? How often do you see a major league pitcher pinch hit in a spring training game?
So, and clearly a ton of guys available to pinch hit because of all the extra guys in camp and minor leaguers available. So this is a chance for, this is Joe Madden saying to Travis Wood, I'm going to use you doing this a little bit this year, and I'm going to give you a chance to do it in the game down here.
And maybe also subtly to keep the pitcher in the 8 spot kind of thing, just to see how this lineup rolls over. Yeah. I don't know the details, and I don't know if Joe will do it or has publicized it, but he threw out something the other day about a possible tandem starting situation with Wood and Jackson based on matchups. So that could be intriguing.
Oh boy, next pitch.
Still 0-2. big league seasons, and Travis Wood has hit at least one home run in all 5. He has hit 3 each of the last 2 years. His slugging percentage last year was .429, which I think was above league average for all batters.
So we had the conversation earlier about the possibility of carrying 3 catchers and how you're going to need roster flexibility to accommodate that. So a guy like Alcantara becomes very important because he can play the outfield and the infield. LaStella, can bounce around the infield, maybe go out and play some outfield for you. But Travis Wood as a pinch hitter, becomes a more viable option.
Absolutely, good point. So Shields has kept the Cubs off the board in terms of runs and hits through 5.
Welcome back, scoreless, as we head to the 6th. Just a glorious day here in Arizona. Are you in charge of planning your next social gathering for the office or friends? Bring your group to Wrigley Field. Enjoy special perks only available inside the ballpark. The Cubs offer special ticket packages for groups of 15 or more. Call the group sales office and speak directly with your dedicated executive at 773-404-4242 or visit Cubs.com/groups.
Hard throwing Jason Mott.
Working for the 6th time this spring. Missed all of 2013 and the beginning of last year, coming back from Tommy John surgery in 2012. He led the National League with 42 saves. Mott with a fastball when at the top of his game will reach 96, 97 miles an hour. Throws a lot of cutters.
Myers, Solarte, and Venable, top of the order for the Pods. So you want to have a little fun with the numbers, since I was talking about league average and on base and slugging and the like. This is how things have changed. Last year, the major league collective OPS was 700. An on base of 314, slugging of 386. If you go back to the year 2000, it was 782. Ground ball knocked down by Rizzo, going to be a tough play. Mott covering, safe.
It was an infield hit from Myers. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, well, okay, so now the why. Bigger arms coming out of the bullpen. I mean, hitters.
Velocity.
Most nights, well, not most nights, many nights, though, they get 2 ABs off the starter. Then it's a parade of relievers who are throwing 96 to 100 miles an hour. We've got advanced metrics in terms of defensive positioning with all the shifts. Oh, they're going to give him an error. My bad. I called it an infield hit. E3. Charge to Rizzo.
You know, everyone assumes it's all about steroids, but I think there are a lot of other factors as well. It could be part of it, but I don't think it's nearly all of it.
No, and you talked about the expansion of the strike zone, not the legal rule book expansion of the strike zone, but what's being called now.
Yep. They're calling lower strikes. Solarte, base hit. 2 on with nobody out. And we will get a pinch runner. Corey Spangenberg for Solarte. So with all this talk about pace of game, do you think baseball needs to do something to limit strikeouts and create more action and essentially create more offense? Or do you believe it goes in cycles as Olt makes the catch?
Yeah, you know, I tend to be put me in the camp of the latter. It kind of goes in cycles, and that players eventually will start to make adjustments. I'm wondering if we're going to see a trend. You know, the game was so much driven by power for so many years, and acquiring power. If some clubs are going to start to go back to, you know, Joey Votto type, you know, everybody would want a Joey Votto, obviously, but a hitter whose skill set is more about on base and using the whole field, tougher to, you know, put shifts on against. I don't know that I'd be in favor of a rule change at this point to address it.
Well, you want back-to-back strikeouts to start an inning to be 3 outs.
Well, that would
go the other way.
That would put pressure on that hitter to put the ball in play, and that's what we're looking for, action.
So in the modern era, according to Baseball Reference, the record for Major League OPS, 1930, it was 790. But after that, it was 2000, 1999. So recent times, some of the best, I guess, run-scoring environments the game has ever seen.
I was watching a replay of a 79 World Series game not too long ago. Baltimore and Pittsburgh, right? We are family Pirates. Timmy Foley was batting. He had to be choked up 10 inches on the bat. I mean, it was all about, you know, not for all hitters. Certainly Pop Stargell wasn't doing that, or Dave Parker. But you don't see that much anymore where there's an emphasis on just putting the ball in play, trying to slash the ball, line the ball all over the field. And that's what I'm wondering, if we're going to start to see that skill set valued a little bit more. You know, a guy who's speedy, could take the extra base on the bases, a good defender, line drive type hitter.
Two. And Jerko fouled it off himself. Well, in terms of the analytics, I think one thing that works a little bit maybe against the running game is just we know too much about that breaking point, and if you are going to steal a lot of bases and try to take chances, you better be successful. Otherwise, it's a losing proposition. I was talking with Joe Madden the other day. Pete Palmer had indicated recently that the sack fly success rate is about 90%, and he said it's too high. That teams should be more aggressive, especially with 1 out, in trying to score a runner from third, because he said even if you are only successful on that particular play, 30% of the time the math still works, because a runner at third, 2 outs, you can do the very relatively speaking, easy math to figure out what the
chances
odds of scoring a run are. So, you know, that kind of thing might affect what a manager would do in terms of a shallow pop fly into right. Maybe take another chance and send that guy from third. Make him make a play.
Hope for a mishandle at home plate or an errant throw.
Because that never happens, right?
Yeah. What?
Well, the tendency when a guy gets thrown out at the plate is to always blame the third base coach.
Well, it takes some guts, too, because it's tough on a medium or a shallow fly ball to tag up and send that guy home. You know, you're opening yourself up to criticism if the guy makes a good throw and your guy's out by 10 feet. And you don't have time after the fact. You can't grab an on-field microphone. Well, here, folks, here's the deal. Our next hitter is a 265 hitter. The chances that he drives this run in from third are pretty remote here.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Base is loaded now for Alonso. An error, a single, and a walk, setting up the Padres here in a scoreless tie.
I mean, and that's a play. It's very easy to defend the aggressive send if you're down near the bottom of the order. So where you are in the batting order obviously matters. The score of the game, what inning you're in is.
Line shot out at. The ball hit right at Alcantara. Did a good job. He looked at every base to try to see if he could find another out, and he could not. 2 away.
Yeah, like a quarterback with all his checkdowns. He's looking at all his would-be receivers, but nobody was open, so he had to hang on. Well struck, but a hang with him for Yonder Alonso. No play there, no play there. Just eat it, hang on.
So Norris with the bases full and 2 outs. Swing and a miss. Where I think base runners in general, JD, could get better is pitches in the dirt, pitches that get away from the catcher, and just that secondary lead and the idea that the minute that ball gets away from the catcher, I'm gone.
You anticipate. That's the whole key, is anticipating the ball in the dirt.
Oh, and 2. Well, the radar gun not working here in the ballpark, but wouldn't be a wild guess to think that was around 95, 96.
Yeah, that's where he was pre-surgery. Last year, coming back from the Tommy John surgery, his average velocity was down a little bit from his peak, but I would not be surprised to see him get back there this year.
Yeah, he was hitting 95 earlier this spring. Yeah. That's high. 1 and 2. He's fun to watch between pitches.
Got a lot of personality.
Yeah. Tugging at his jersey, his cap, flipping the ball up in the air. Got that Yukon Cornelius beard working. Bumbles bounce. Should know better than anybody. He's been behind the plate working with Doug Eddings all day. Still 0-0. They leave him loaded. Wednesday night, the Bulls will hit the floor for a late season tilt with the Raptors. Coverage begins at 5:30 on CSN Chicago. Great time of the year, March Madness. The start of the baseball season, NBA, NHL, nearing the playoff run. So both teams now into the bullpen. Veteran right-hander Jose Valverde is on for the Padres.
Valverde, a non-roster invitee here, trying to find a spot in the Padre bullpen.
Because you look at those numbers, and he's faced, a lot of guys who are maybe considered AAA players or minor league players late in ball games. We saw Hector Rondon yesterday get the save. He pitched the ninth, so you're starting to see relievers more toward the back end of the ball game, more accustomed to their regular season role. Alcantara will lead it off. That's well hit, and it will go. Boy, he has sneaky power, and that time to the opposite field to make it 1-0.
Yeah, I think last year I called him an Altoid because he was curiously strong. You don't see it. He's a wiry guy with quick twitch muscle. The ball really jumped off his bat. So rude greeting for the veteran Valverde. A running fastball down around the knees.
Boy, nice, easy, fluid swing.
The hands. He's got strong hands, and Ristis is
Fowler 0 for 2 on his 29th birthday. Two balls, no strikes. If you are keeping score at home, Will Myers has now been credited with an infield single. Take away the error on Anthony Rizzo in the top of this inning. So Mott gave up 2 hits and a walk. It stranded all 3. Oh, look out. There goes the bat.
Valverde broke in with the Diamondbacks in 2003. +40 saves 3 times in his career.
41 games combined the last 2 years with Detroit and the Mets, and he has struggled. 3-2. Strike 3 called. Fowler thought it was ball 4.
Running fastball, shooting for the outside corner. Fowler thought it was off the plate. Doug Eddings, who's been pretty generous out there all afternoon, rings him up.
Boy, that is really generous.
Rizzy tips are going up.
Coughlin has fanned both times. Valverde has led his league in saves 3 different times. He has never started in the big leagues. 626 appearances, and many of them coming with a game on the line. Hitters count here for Coghlan. Backhanded play by the new second baseman. That is Ramiro Pena.
Yeah, they got some changes out. It looks like Brett Wallace is now playing first base.
The new right fielder. We'll figure it out at some point. New left fielder. Jake Gilbertson left. Abraham Almonte has moved to right.
He's supposed to be okay. Said he's okay. Who do you got? Who do you got pitching with? Montero's not out yet. I'm worried about okay. Well, that's going to be Miggy. Miggy's got it. Who do you got after that?
Cubs leading 1-0 on the Alcantara leadoff home run here in the 6th. Just a beautiful lazy Sunday afternoon here in Mesa. That one floated out into right center. Soler is on for the first time. Big turnaround first.
367 batting average this spring coming into play this afternoon. A little bit of a floater, maybe a splitter up in the zone. Didn't crush it. Hit it pretty well. And boy, I love to watch him go down that first baseline. He's going to make an outfielder stop him. He leaves the box. He's thinking too.
That'll be it for Valverde as he jumps over that chalk line. And we'll tell you who the next pitcher is when we come back. That's what you call a tease. 1-0 Cubs.
Welcome back. Pitcher warming up for the Padres. Meanwhile, the Cubs invite you to take advantage of free remote parking and shuttle services on night and weekend games. The remote parking lot is located at 3900 North Rockwell. For details, visit Cubs.com.
New pitcher is left-hander Frank Garces. 5'11", 175. He made his major league debut and was pretty good. 15 appearances last year and an ERA of 2. Signed originally by the Rangers in 2009. Facing Rizzo with Soler at first and 2 outs. Long run over by the third baseman. Spangenberg can't make the catch.
They're playing a shift on Rizzo, so no help for Spangenberg. He's the only one on that side. He's got a real shot at getting to that ball. That's a very tough angle in a tough sky and a fairly predictable result. So Rizzo stays alive, and of course a big part of the story for Anthony Rizzo last year was how good he was against left-handed pitching after really struggling the prior season. A very modest lead for Soler over there at first base. Chance for Buddy Black to see how his young left-hander competes against a very dangerous left-handed hitter.
So we get 40-man rosters, spring rosters for each game from each team. We usually get a travel roster or a list of minor leaguers who are available, and invariably once every other day we see 1 or 2 players who are not on any of those lists, and that's the case with Mr. Garces today. This time Spangenberg makes the catch, and that will end the inning. Leadoff homer by Alcantara. 1-0 Cubs after 6. Let's send it to our downtown Chicago studios for more with our Chris Bowden.
Len, thanks very much. San Diego Padres skipper Bud Black has an interesting connection to the Cubs. Ex-Cubs manager Ricky Renteria spent 2 seasons as Black's bench coach, while the current Cubs manager Joe Maddon worked alongside the Padres bench boss in 2002, when they were both part of the World Series winning Angels coaching staff. So when the Cubs made a change back in November, Black knew it was a tough choice for all involved.
The two of them realized that in this game, there are no guarantees, and it's a tough business. And I think the world of both those guys. I was with both of them about the same period of time. Joe in Anaheim for a number of years. Ricky was one of my coaches for a number of years. I know both. They're both great baseball men. They both get it, what happened. They both understand that in this business, there are a lot of things that come across your plate that are tough. And in Ricky's case, he's handling it like Ricky does, like a man, stand up. I know Joe, his situation in Tampa, how that played out, and the Cubs, wanting to talk with Joe. That wasn't easy for Joe. It wasn't, based on his respect for the position of manager. But I think both guys understand at the end that this can be a very tough business at times.
Wednesday night at 9 Central, some late-night Cactus League action. We're back here on CSN. The Cubs under the lights against the Seattle Mariners over in Peoria. Brought to you by Apt Electronics, Appliances, and more. Beautiful Sloan Park. Second-year home of the Cubs. Left-hander Felix Doubront. Cubs leading by 1 here in the 7th.
Numbers not good for Felix so far this spring. In 3 games, he's pitched to a 12 ERA, 15 hits allowed in 6 innings. Obviously, a very small sample.
David, this is the last inning.
Come into this camp was a candidate for the 5th spot in the rotation. Obviously, that's not going to happen. Well, I assume it's not going to happen. I guess trades could alter that some.
Some changes for the Cubs. New outfield: Lake, Caesar, and Sweeney left to right. Good to see Matt back in action after dealing with a left ankle issue. Mike Baxter's now at first for Rizzo. Lefty to lefty in the 1-1 to Amarista. That's a ground ball into left past Mike Olt.
I do.
Big plans on the off day tomorrow?
You know, there was some talk about possibly taking a drive to the Grand Canyon.
Ooh, that's intriguing.
Nothing has been firmed up.
Okay. You've been?
Have not.
It's worth it. Just the drive there and back. Beautiful. Could be 2. Nice snag by Olt, but they can't turn it.
Yeah, hoping for 2, but you settle for 1 on a ball like that. Well struck. A great pick by Mike Olt.
So it's Pena, switch hitting infielder, now playing second.
I was looking online, and it seems like one of the things to do there is to ride a donkey, a burro, kind of take a trail ride, but I think you have to line that up well in advance. I think that's kind of a popular deal.
You've got connections. I'm sure you
it
can
looks
find
a little
somebody.
dicey. They're right on the kind of on the edge. Or if the burro was a little annoyed that he might just, you know, kind of
You have to be nice.
toss you, yeah.
You have to be nice to the burro. You know, you hiked Pestua Peak. Did you have a Sherpa and everything? Did you hire somebody to carry up all the supplies?
Thought about spending the night halfway up. People go up and down that mountain like they're goats. When they run up and down. I don't know how they do it.
I saw an article. There's a woman who has basically done that hike every day for like 17 years. And I think she's like in her 60s.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's impressive.
Time up.
Strike called, 3-1 to Pena. 15,206. A sellout here at Sloan Park. strike called, 3-2.
Good 3-1 there. Got a strike, but didn't throw him a cookie.
Runner goes, and Pena fouls.
Take it with you.
You're going to climb the mountain tomorrow?
I might do Pinnacle Peak, which is more of a hike.
South
a
Mountain?
Trail.
Is that South Mountain? Is that
No, Pinnacle Peak's north. North Scottsdale. Yeah, I'm gonna try something different. And as I said before, there will be a nap in my future. Hit well, and it's caught by Lake. Almonte will scamper back to first. Padres have hit into some tough luck today. They hit a few balls hard off Hamill for outs. He was largely, however, in command. 5 innings, 3 hits, no walks, 9 strikeouts. Myers went after the high one. Myers 24 years old. 3rd round pick of the Royals in 09. One of 3 members of the Rays to win the Rookie of the Year with Joe Madden as the manager. Evan Longoria, Jeremy Hellickson, Will Myers.
And I believe Myers was the minor league player of the year before he was Rookie of the Year. We talked about it first time up, took a big step back last year.
He was traded by the Royals to the Rays in the James Shields Wade Davis deal. And then the big 3-team trade on December 19th puts him here in a Padres uniform as Caesar will have to play that one off the wall. Almonte will score, and we're tied. Will Myers game tying 2-out RBI double. I believe that was an 0-2 pitch too.
Well, it looks like they're trying to crowd him and get inside with a cutter, and clearly did not.
So he's out of the game. Travis Jankowski will run for him. Lake in left to end the inning. So we'll stretch here in Mesa, now tied 1-1.
7th, Friday, April 17th. Cubs take on the Cincinnati Reds. First pitch at 1:20. The first 10,000 fans at the ballpark will receive a Cubs Winter Aviator hat presented by Pepsi. For more information or to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com.
A 1-1 tie. Cubs batting here in the 7th. Miguel Montero probably his final plate appearance. Hall of Famer Fergie Jenkins led the crowd in the singing of the 7th inning stretch today without the help of Gary Pressey. It was impressive, an a cappella version.
Flying solo, and he nailed it.
He did. Two strikes to Montero.
Montero just a $198 last year against left-handed pitching.
What?
Garces looked like he changed the arm angle a little bit with that one.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, again, you know, 2 or 3 catches, but if it's 2, how David Ross will fit into the mix. Will he catch Lester a lot? Will he be in there against some tough lefties as a right-handed hitter?
And therein lies the value of Castillo, where, you know, if you could spot him against tough left-handers, that would help the lineup some. Again, it's going to be difficult to kind of massage the roster to make that happen. But, you know, it's not like once you start the season that you're stuck with that for the whole year. So maybe that they're thinking is, well, let's try it. Let's take a look.
Right.
And if you know, Joe finds out that he feels like his hands are tied, he doesn't have enough options off the bench, then maybe they get a little bit more aggressive in trying to develop a market and move one of the catchers, presumably Wellington.
Two, right down the middle. No argument from Montero.
Just never got it started. Good fastball from Garces.
So that'll be it for the lefty. New pitcher coming on here in the 7th and a 1-1 tie.
Live Cubs baseball is back in 2015 with MLB.com at bat on your smartphone or tablet. Stay connected with live radio broadcasts, stats, breaking news, and so much more. Download MLB.com At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball.
Nick Vincent, right-hander, is on. Strike called, upper part of the zone on Javi Baez.
Yeah, slider to get started, and that's what you can count on from Nick Vincent. He relies heavily on that pitch. So far this spring, good work.
Splintered bat, but a base hit. A good day for Baez. A walk, a ground out, and a single. 1 for 2. Pitch to Alt.
Oh, attaboy!
And he fouls it back.
Nick Vincent worked 63 times for the Padres last year. Pitched to a 3.60 ERA. Better than a strikeout for every inning pitched.
Foul tip, and it's 0-2.
So I was doing some math earlier. You know, this Chris Bryant guy is hitting home runs at an alarming rate out here in Arizona. 8 so far and 25 at bats.
Not including the B game.
Not including the B game.
Blast.
Yep.
Right.
So I was just doing some extrapolating. Oh, don't turn a double play on. Get a dazzle with the statistic.
Dazzle us, sir.
So I figure middle of the order hitter get about 525 at bats a year. So if you took his home run rate, he would be on a pace to hit 168 home runs in a full season.
That'd be a new record. It has been impressive. Here's Matt Caesar. Matt's had a really good spring.
Which has featured the long ball. You don't really think of him, right? He's at
3, I think.
Yep. He won that head-to-head bet on the basketball game with Joe Madden. And then his Wildcats, Villanova, went out and got beat.
I think he got a bottle of wine out of it, and his manager had to wear a Villanova sweatshirt. Joe went to Lafayette. I guess Chris Bryant is going to take some fly balls in the outfield this week. Not sure if and when he'll get into game action here in Arizona as an outfielder. They have been talking about that for some time. And here's what he did yesterday with the bat. First game back at third base in over a week. And that was off Felix Hernandez. First time he had ever faced him. And then later he hit another one.
3 home run games in his last 5 starts.
The 0-2. Swing and a miss on a frisbee slider from Vincent. That'll take us into the 8th inning in a 1-1 tie. Not a ton of offense today. The Cubs with a home run from Arismendi Alcantara. Will Myers game-tying double in the 7th. Chris Valleca, the veteran utility man, will now play 3rd. That's Eric Castillo behind the plate, and Francisli Bueno will do the pitching.
Bueno signed a minor league deal in January. He's seen big league time with Atlanta and Kansas City. Finesse type left-hander, fastball, high 80s.
And a strike on Wallace. Trying to get back to the big leagues. Two.
Good left-on-left changeup there from Bueno.
Wallace did not get any big league time last year. And he drives this one to right in front of Sweeney for a base hit. An 0-2 single by Wallace. All right, it's spring training. So can I ask you kind of a weird question?
Sure.
Not that I wouldn't do this in the regular season if we were in San Diego on a late Saturday night and it was a 12-1 game. Who's the second greatest player in Padres history?
Second greatest player in Padre history. Because
if I ask you who the first, who the greatest player is, it's obvious.
Tony Gwynn.
It's Tony Gwynn. But there might be a little debate on the second best. Do you want me to give you some options, or do you just want to think off the top of your
Colbert?
Head? He might be in the conversation, yeah.
Trevor Hoffman.
Okay, you're going to throw pitchers in there. Maybe Randy Jones.
Good play, come on.
Padres are born in 1969. Uh-oh.
Yep, that one is going to get out in a hurry. Tommy Medica with a blast in his first at bat, and it's 3-1.
Tommy Medica is the second greatest player in Padre history. He's having a monster spring, 15 out of 26. That's his 4th long ball. Right into the happy zone. Dave Winfield was a Padre.
Yes, Dave Winfield was a Padre for 8 seasons.
Did he have 8 years there?
Yeah. So he would be, I think, probably the best choice. Adrian Gonzalez, 5 years. Very good. Cody Decker with a ground ball to short. Baez swinging off his arm. One away. So it's not.
Well, they had a lot of good players run through there, but a lot of guys didn't say, like Fred McGriff, Gary Sheffield. They didn't really stay there a long time. Robbie Alomar.
I think you named most of them. You know, Phil Nevin, Ryan Klesko would stand out in terms of the numbers they put up as Padres. It's Austin Hedges. Baez makes a difficult play look easy.
Yeah, didn't panic. That's one where you're retreating and you're kind of hoping an outfielder runs you off because they have a little better angle on it. And if you don't hear him, you got to stay with it. He did a nice job.
So yeah, after Tony Gwynn, there's just kind of a lot of guys in that mix who were very good. Winfield was a Hall of Famer, but 8 of his seasons as a Padre.
Did Winfield go into the Hall of Fame as a Padre? Is he wearing a Padre hat?
I do not know the answer to that. I'm going to say no. I think he went in as a Yankee. He spent 9 years with the Yanks. You're looking that up, right? I don't have to.
Yeah. On the Hall of Fame website, it says primary team New York Yankees.
Oh boy.
Swing and a miss by Almonte. For some reason, I thought Gwynn was the first Padre.
Although I'm looking at the plaque here, a picture of the plaque, and I'm seeing an SD.
Well, there you go. Then I guess Dave Winfield went in as a Padre. Throw to second. Got it. Eric Castillo imitating Wellington with a nice throw. Padres take the lead on the home run by Medica, the second greatest player in Padres history.
Baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you by Apt Electronics, appliances and more. Pleasing people since 1936.
Padres now with a 3-1 lead. The Cubs will bat here in the bottom of the 8th. But yeah, Dave Winfield went in as a Padre. So we learned that.
So if that comes up when they see the Padres during the regular season as trivia, we'll be all over.
Brandon Maurer.
He's over from the Mariners in a trade involving Seth Smith. It was really good for the Padres last year, but they've got a lot of new thumpers. And Maurer will work out of the Padre bullpen this year. He's been out there a couple times so far this spring.
Tom!
38 appearances with the Mariners last year, 7 of which were starts. He was 1-4 with a .465 earned run average.
Looks like his family was given a free R. They really didn't need it. It's not Maurer, it's Maurer, like Joe, but he's got an extra R.
Nice up, clump up. Boy.
Will Myers only has 1 L and Will. A little issue over there.
I'll give you my L, but you got to turn it into an R.
What?
Cubs with 3 hits, 1 left the yard. That was Alcantara off Valverde in the 6th. A 6'5" righty. Strike 3 outside corner. We're calling that one all day.
Contra giving Eddings the business as he makes his way back to the dugout. But yeah, if you're looking for consistency, Doug Eddings has delivered.
Twitter has blown up with my what I thought was kind of a cheesy question, but fun nonetheless. Getting some Ozzie Smith, Gary Templeton votes, Steve Garvey, Brian
Benito
Giles,
Santiago.
Benito Santiago, yeah. And I guess I would limit my question to their time as a Padre as opposed to anyone who played for the Padres in their whole career. In terms of games played, I got to go back. I had it dialed up. I think Tim Flannery's like in the top 5.
Flan was there a long time.
Long time. Jake Peavy might get some votes. Sweeney strikes out.
A lot of red ink on the scorecard today.
Yep.
Pretty good looking changeup Maurer features. Also can rush that fastball up there in the mid-90s.
So when I ask questions like that, and how much time did you spend as a member of the Padres organization?
A couple months.
So do you think that's one of my teams? Does it even cross your mind?
Yeah, I eventually get there. Yeah, I get around to it. I go, oh yeah, I was with those guys for a while. Well, that's what made me think of the whole the McGriff Sheffield group.
Yeah, that was right around that time.
I was there.
Yeah.
Tony Fernandez was the shortstop. Bruce Hurst.
You didn't have a good record, but you had a good earned run average. 15 starts, a .328.
Yeah, they stopped hitting the second half. That's the year they referred to them as the 4 tops. Fernandez, Gwynn, Sheffield and McGriff, top 4. I mean, I think Sheffield flirted with a Triple Crown that year. They put up big numbers and real big numbers early. And then second half of the season, didn't score quite as much. So Greg Reddick was the manager, got fired, and Jimmy Riggleman, who'd been managing down at Vegas, got the big league gig.
Yeah, Gary Sheffield is the only Padre not named Tony Gwynn to win a batting title.
How long was Sheffield in San Diego?
2 years. It's through for Junior League. Not even 2 years. Baxter, the tying run with 2 outs in the 8th.
He's not had a lot of success this spring.
All right, last Padres trivia for the day. Jake Peavy led the National League twice in strikeouts. 2005, 2007. The first San Diego Padre pitcher to lead the league in strikeouts.
Wow. Padre.
You wouldn't get this if I gave you 50 guesses.
Gaylord Perry.
No.
Give me initials then. Or is that giving away too much?
Last name starts with a B. I'll give you that.
Oh, boy.
And it was a work stoppage shortened season.
Wow.
One in the air to left.
All right, who again?
Andy Bennis.
Andy Bennis.
1994 led the National League with 189.
Should have gotten that.
Strikeout.
I was a teammate of his when I was there.
There you go.
Sorry, Andy.
If you think you got your fill of the Padres Wayback Machine today, think again, because when Hawk jumps on the second best Padre ever, it's going to be really fun. White Sox and Padres, 3 o'clock tomorrow here on CSN Chicago, and it's brought to you by Apt Electronics, Appliances, and more. Should I text him and tell him we started the topic? He and Stoney can finish it tomorrow. New pitcher is Gonzalez Germain, right-hander.
27-year-old right-hander, has big league time with the Mets. 25 appearances last year, 29 appearances in 2013. No wins, no losses, a .475 earned run average with the Mets last year.
And a base hit for Amante. Bring up Pena. Lined out to left in the 7th. Valleca in on the grass at 3rd.
If this were a regular season game, in all likelihood, Pena would be bunting here. Sometimes the manager doesn't want to take a bat out of a player's hands in an exhibition game, though.
Runner goes, and a hit and run. Pena fouls. News out of the Grapefruit League. Christian Yelich, 23-year-old Marlins outfielder, has signed a 7-year extension, reportedly worth over $49 million. This after they gave Giancarlo Stanton a 13-year deal worth $325 million over the winter. Pitch. Pena vacated, 2-1.
Yelich, a good-looking young hitter, and had he not signed a long-term deal, maybe ultimately would have been able to command more in the free agent market down the road. But can't fault him at all for getting that security.
You get Marcelo Zuna's agents on the phone. Hey, what about us?
Got pretty good outfield there, don't they?
Mm-hmm. Runner goes again, and this one thumped foul off to the right.
Well, the Yankees' young prospects was taken to the hospital today after crashing into the wall. Jose Pirela, P-I-R-E-L-A. Ran into the center field wall and had to be taken out in an ambulance.
Caesar over into left center to make the catch. So that's out number 1. And here's Travis Jankowski. Came in to run for Myers in the 7th. Yeah, Christian Yelich won a Gold Glove last year as well. And he went.
I mean, that's a great fucking name. The boy.
Swing and a miss, 0-2. Boy, did I open a can of worms? Second best Padre? This is great.
Is anybody challenging that Tony Gwynn is the greatest? Is anybody coming up with that?
No, I didn't have any sort of answer in mind. I wasn't trying to, like, you know, do a gotcha. Where you'd name 8 people and then I'd go, no, it's this guy. And you go, oh, of course. That was not the point. The point was it was the 7th inning of a spring training game and we're playing the Padres. Long pause. Germain to the plate, up and in. 1-2. Well, I'm spitting in the wind, but I still think the Pod should go back to the brown and mustard or brown and orange. They owned that color. That was their trademark. Castillo's been busy behind the plate, threw out a runner earlier, but this time Almonte gets second.
The throw just sails on him a little bit. We talked earlier about Joe Madden and his praise of Javi Baez and his tagging ability. Almost got him.
Yeah, he did. 2-2 the count on Jankowski. Busted bat liner, base hit. Almonte had to make sure it got through so he can only advance to third.
Yeah, no play to be made for Baez. Base runner, just a little hesitation there. So with 1 out, he drops anchor at third base.
Spangenberg. Shows bunt, pulls it back. So when I think Oakland A's, I think green. When I think Houston Astros, I think the blue and the orange, which they've gone back to. When I think of the Padres, I don't think of navy blue.
Right. Brown and mustard.
Yep.
Come off third. Castillo.
And they could probably do it in a way that, you know, it's kind of ugly back in the day, but they could probably use those colors in such a way.
Sure. Someday. Well, I'm still beating the drum for the Brewers to go back to their ball and glove logo, which they break out on Retro Fridays or whatever, but in a lot of cases they generally get it right early. And then 10, 20, 30 years down the road you change it. But when you go back to it, you go, no, this just feels right. Outside.
Do you know how long they wore the original colors, the original uniform, the Pods?
Well, they changed the actual uniform a lot early.
Yeah, but they kind of kept the colors.
They kept the color scheme. Then they added orange, I think, in the early 80s. Then they took the yellow or the mustard out, and it was the pinstripe brown with the orange, which I didn't mind. Kind of the Keith Moreland.
I think that's what I wore when I was there.
Yeah. That I liked. Then that turned into blue and orange. Runner goes from first, ball 4. So load him up.
I believe there was a Jamie Quirk sighting earlier down there. He was hanging out down next to Buddy Black. Former Cubs coach Jamie Quirk is managing now in the Padres organization.
Oh, one of our favorites.
Yeah, good guy.
Jamie. So some trouble for Germain against Brett Wallace.
Wallace was a first-round pick, I believe, of the Cardinals back in the day. Was one of the better hitting prospects in all of minor league baseball, and it just hasn't worked out for him at the big league level. He's been traded a couple different times. He's involved in some high-profile trades. The Astros gave him a shot. He's never really able to claim the job there.
Talk to him.
Played some third base and some first base. One of those guys, when you watch him take BP, you think he can't miss, but it just hasn't translated.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know kind of how many can't miss guys end up being can't misses.
Mm-hmm.
Line and a base hit. They're going to get a couple, it looks like. 2 runs will score, and the Padres now lead 5-1.
Well, it's kind of a tired cliche, but we talk about it all the time. It's this game, playing at the highest level, it's about the ability to make adjustments because everybody's got a little bit of a flaw or a hole in their game. And when you're in the big leagues, it's going to get exposed. And if you don't make a counter move or counter adjustment, you're cooked.
Medica came off the bench at a 2-run homer in the 8th to give the Padres the lead. Yeah, he's had a pretty good spring, wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm.
He is 15 for 26, 2 doubles, 4 home runs this spring.
That's us.
Backhanded by Baez, sets his feet, and a bullet to first. Boy, he really gathered his composure. They get another run at 6-1. That's a really nice play by Javi Baez.
Yeah, that's one of the points that Joe Madden was making earlier today. Everybody's focusing on Baez's struggles at the plate and all the strikeouts, but on other phases of the game, he's really doing a nice job. A good defender, smart base runner. Looked to me like he was contemplating spinning all the way around on this one and then decided to reverse course, and boy, did he get off a good strong throw.
The batter is Casey McElroy. And it's low.
McElroy over from the minor league camp. To me, or is he really small?
Yeah, he's not very tall.
Well, listed at 5'8".
You're not buying it?
No, he may be. He looks, but Amarista, they listed 5'6".
5'8", 180. Casey McElroy.
Maybe it's the double flap helmet. Always makes guys look smaller.
3 runs in. And a 3-2 count. Long inning for Germain. Strike 3, got him. And the inning is over. Last of the ninth, Padres lead the Cubs 6-1. There you go, a little old school Padres uniform look.
Yeah, but I like this guy down here, the guy we were pointing out in the stands. I don't know if we can get a shot of him now. Section behind home plate, about 10 rows up. I kind of like that look.
Sean Kelly, right-hander, is on. The one you like is from 1978. Actually, the one we just showed is also from 78. I think that was the road version. The road uniform was brown with the yellow sleeves, and the home was white with brown sleeves.
I like the home. Kelly was a Yankee last year, traded to the Padres this off-season with New York last season, 3-6 with a .453 earned run average. He pitched 59 times.
On a bounce, Pena makes the play.
That's the guy we're talking about.
Yep,
yeah.
Yep.
I'll sign that petition.
Castillo, he's a switch hitter. Strike 3. So Kelly makes quick work of Castillo. And it's up to Baez. 1 for 2 with a walk. This should do it. And the Padres pull away late. They get the tying run in the 7th and then score 5 more in the final 2 innings and beat the Cubs today 6-1. Well, the good news, Jason Hamill very sharp.
Yeah, that's the story of the day for the Cubs. They only managed 4 hits. Their 1 run coming on Arizmendi Alcantara home run, so they continued to hit the long ball, but other than that, didn't do a whole lot with the bats. But Jason Hamill really, really sharp today. 5 shutout innings, struck out 9, didn't walk anybody.
So for JD, for our director Jim Angio, our producer Michelle Godwin, our associate producer Chris Kamka, our tech manager Mark Harper, our executive producer Jim Cornell Jr., and our entire CSN crew, Len Casper saying so long. We're back with you later this week, Wednesday night, 9 o'clock Central Time, Cubs and the Mariners. You've been watching Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet.